This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm excited because it's Endgame week here on the Complete Guide to Everything.
Yes.
And although I haven't seen it, and although I'm not really a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah, the MCU. I should say no spoilers yet. When we're getting into spoiler territory, I'll blast a spoiler alarm.
Right. Despite all of that, I'm a little optimistic. I want to hear about what's happening.
Yes.
In the MCU. Hey, who lives? Who dies? What happens to Thanos, right?
Thanos. I mean, it depends on your accent. Some people say Thanos.
I say Theranos.
Well, that's a different beast altogether.
It is. Hey, you know what, Tom?
Potentially more dangerous.
I'm Theranosed out.
Yeah, I think we've heard all we need
I read
right?
the book. I listened to the podcast. I watched the documentary. I don't need two different
TV
fictional.
shows.
Yeah. Oh, well, one has the lady from The Thing, and the other one is the lady from The Other Thing.
Yeah.
Who? Kate McKinnon?
Yeah,
Kate
McKinnon's one of them. I didn't know there were two, so I don't know who the other one is.
Who is the Oscar-winning young lady?
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah, I forgot
J-Lo.
about that one. Yeah, so there are two.
Which also, it's like, man, doesn't this person suck? Let's get the most glamorous woman in the world to portray her in a movie about her life.
Yeah.
That'll show her.
Yeah.
Are they making all this stuff as revenge against this woman?
What do you mean? How would it be revenge to get,
Yeah,
like
no. I'm assuming that, like, they're making a movie to be like, to stick it to Elizabeth Holmes. Like, we're going to tell everybody about your thing.
Yeah.
Your deep, dark secret. But also, we're going to get a movie star.
Yeah, we're going to get a...
Am I coming in too hot today, Tom?
No, you're coming in appropriately hot.
I'm excited.
Yeah, for all the Theranos content to come. No, I read the book. We both read the book. I only watched like half the documentary because I was like, oh, I know all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's a great story. It is not a story that needs to be told 5 times.
Exactly.
It's
especially
a pretty
not
simple
in
story.
a Marvel Cinematic Universe
No.
where they're making half the population disappear. Is that what Theranos
well, and
did?
I don't want, at the end of the Theranos movie, like Elon Musk shows up and he's
Who?
like, Elon Musk?
I thought you thought it was his cousin, Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, and they're connected. Like, he's also, he's not as bad, but he's over-promising on delivery targets.
Yeah. He's very interesting, though.
He is. He loves dank memes, Elon Musk.
Yeah, enough about that dank memes. He did that so everybody would stop talking about his other failings.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah. Tom, we're talking about The Avengers, The Age of Ultron.
Yeah. No, Avengers Endgame.
Was that a movie? The
Age
of Ultron?
Avengers Age of Ultron was Avengers 2.
The people didn't like that movie, right?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of like,
Here, look.
It had good moments, but as a whole, it was like,
Can I go through the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies that I have seen?
Yes, I would love that.
Number 1,
mm-hmm.
the Iron Man.
Yeah.
I was there day 1. I went with you.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You were like, Tim, this is very important to me.
Uh-huh.
I'd like you to support me in my time of need.
Yeah.
I went.
I'm going to see a movie about a man made of iron.
Yeah.
I think it might appeal to you as well.
I thought that movie was pretty good. I liked it. I then saw, I want to say, the Ant-Man.
Okay, that was like a lot later.
Oh, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy
Okay.
in between.
Uh-huh.
Both of those were fine.
You didn't see the first Avengers movie?
I watched about 20 minutes of it on Netflix when it hit Netflix.
Uh-huh.
You know about Netflix?
Yeah.
Streaming movies in your home or on the go.
Well, that I haven't heard.
Yeah, I didn't care
look
for
into
the
that.
first few minutes.
Okay.
And then I heard everybody was like, no, it's great. There's 30 seconds at the end where they eat shawarma. You should watch that. And
It's not even 30. It's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm not going to... I saw Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Saw that with you also.
Yeah,
I
that
also
one
saw
you
Guardians
liked.
with you. I really like that movie.
Yeah.
I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp. I saw that alone on opening day.
Before I did, yeah.
Yeah. I think that might be it.
You haven't seen Infinity War, the one that led
not.
up to this.
I watched. I quite enjoyed the first 20 minutes of it. Fell asleep when I tried watching the rest of it.
So
Woke up for like the beginning of the third act. And it was just too much fighting. I didn't like it. Too much fighting in these movies.
But the beginning of the movie is just like Thanos kicking the shit out of the Hulk.
Yeah,
you like that. You thought the Hulk had that coming.
I think the Hulk needs to be taken down a few pegs. Oh, and I also saw Ang Lee's The Hulk, which everybody loves.
Actually, arguably might be canon.
Okay.
Because that movie...
You delivered that like you thought I was going to gasp.
Well, because that movie ends with Bruce Banner like running off to South America.
Bruce Banner is
The Hulk.
Batman?
No, it's the Hulk.
Oh.
And then in The Incredible Hulk...
Wait, where does he run off to?
South America.
Huh. Maybe he just believes that travel enriches us all.
He was trying to get away from like the U.S. government who was trying to capture him.
Yeah, but maybe he thinks travel has the power to enrich the world.
Yeah, okay. So incredible.
The power of travel, Tom.
All right. Why are you so stuck on travel?
Because he travels to South America.
Yeah, but
there's some Marriott properties down there. Maybe he stayed there. Do you know where he stayed when he left there, Bruce?
No, I think he stayed. I think he was like in Brazil in like one of those like like very poor areas, staying in like a shack.
I mean, the Marriott brand of hotels. I mean, not just Marriott. The entire Bonvoy family of brands.
The what?
Bonvoy. They have numerous brands. I'm sure in Brazil, wherever Bruce Banner went, it's likely he stayed there.
Well, I don't think they'd probably want a guy that can turn into a green Hulk staying at a nice hotel.
I mean, they're very welcoming. They're available in over 129 countries, is what I'm saying. And so, it's likely. Look,
right.
I don't care. I don't know.
I mean, I don't think that's really
if it wasn't
relevant.
shown in the movie, I don't care.
But anyway, he at the end of Ang Lee's Hulk, he goes to South America. In the beginning of The Incredible Hulk, Bruce Banner's in South America. So it's like kind of almost maybe these are supposed to be connected. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter. There have been three...
Hulktimately,
3 different Hulks. 3 different movie Hulks.
Right. Okay. Edward Norton. Eric Bana.
Yes.
Eric Bana?
Yes.
And
Eric Bana playing Bruce Banner.
Yeah. And everybody's favorite environmentalist.
Mark Ruffalo.
I saw a thing, and we're going to have to put the spoiler alert up soon.
Yeah.
But where it's like, oh, Mark Ruffalo, it turns out, did spoil the end of Infinity War.
Yeah.
Or of Endgame. And also, it's like, well, if nobody knew it,
then it's not
then
really
he didn't.
spoiling
Then he didn't
it,
do it. If you, hey AV Club, hey the Onion AV Club, if you didn't run a headline about it when he spoiled it, how much of a spoiler was it?
Well, but you saw the video where he had spoiled Infinity War with Don Cheadle next to him.
Yeah, but again, if nobody took him seriously, how much of a spoiler is it?
That he straight up like he was already like, oh, I don't think I should talk about this stuff, and the guy was like, oh, a lot of people died in Thor, and he cuts in, he's like, you should see this next movie. Everybody dies, and it's like half the people die, which is how it ends. But then saying everybody dies is also bad.
Yeah.
And Don Cheadle immediately gets super mad at him. It's an uncomfortable clip to watch.
But who cares,
Well,
right? At the end of the day, who cares?
It's uncomfortable because all these people have like clauses in their contracts where they get, I guess it's not bonuses for keeping a secret. It's more like your pay gets docked if you slip.
That's not true.
No, it is true. They have like clauses because otherwise... Because I think for years the attitude has been, Well, we'll tell the actors like, hey, you can't say X, Y, or Z, and I think a lot of them are like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
So
who gives a shit? This is a movie for kids.
So they had to make it financially relevant to them. Of hey, if you don't say anything, we're gonna give you this bonus.
Much like the episode of ER where Doug Green, played by, do you know?
No, I'm waiting to hear from you.
Dr. Green.
Yeah.
Do you know who played him?
No, who played him?
George Clooney.
Oh, no, I thought it was the other guy. Oh, yeah, he shows up
Oh,
at
wait,
the end.
Doug. No, wait, I think I'm conflating
Yeah, you're
names
thinking
here.
of Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, whatever. George Clooney came back on Juliana Margulies' last episode.
Yeah.
And
it
it
was a big
didn't leak,
secret.
and everybody on the crew got a bonus because it didn't leak.
There you go. That's what happens.
Yeah.
So Mark
I think it's
Ruffalo.
Dr. Green. I think it's Doug Green.
I think that's Anthony
There's no way
Edwards.
we'll ever know.
But I think, but like Mark Ruffalo probably lost money by having that slip.
Do you think Mark Ruffalo cares?
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo has more. Ruffalo lives more modestly than I do.
Yeah, but at the same
He
time,
lives in a one-room shack in the Adirondacks. All he cares about is fracking.
I mean, the guy loves fracking. You can't take that away from him.
No,
What?
He's against it.
Are you sure?
It's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah.
But if you read,
He's really into it.
no. I understand. I thought that way myself.
Uh-huh.
But if you really look into what he said,
Yeah.
he's. It seems like his mind has been changed. He's skeptical of the
but
merits
he used
of
to be really into it.
Yeah, I think that's where he's definitely not 100% on board.
I mean, I'll tell you who would be great at fracking is the Hulk. He could get probably very lucrative work fracking,
Yeah.
breaking up bedrock and
All right.
whatever.
So I haven't seen
Avengers Endgame.
Endgame.
Or
I saw-
most of the Marvel
or
movies.
most of them.
Yeah.
But Tom, and I was telling you this earlier,
Mm-hmm.
so many of the blogs and stuff,
Huh?
they're out
The
there.
blogosphere.
The blogosphere. But
Yeah.
like I'm talking about places, real publications.
Uh,
They're like, well, what we did is we found someone on our staff that hasn't seen any of the Avengers movies of the MCU,
yeah.
and we had them go see Endgame and keep a running diary. And it's just some person that doesn't care about these movies,
Huh.
and they're like, "What is this green guy about?" You know who the Incredible Hulk is. Look, I know you haven't seen the movies. I didn't see the Incredible Hulk movies. I know the
You
fucking
see
Incredible Hulk
you see a
exists.
huge green guy who's just smashing things. It's probably the Hulk.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I've never heard of that. Oh, then what are you working for a pop culture website for?
Yeah.
If you don't know who the Incredible Hulk is, the same thing. They're like, oh, we had Game of Thrones fans, non-Game of Thrones fans, watch the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah.
And people are like,
And they were
"What?
confused.
What's going on? Who are these guys?" Yeah, you jump into any TV show at the 86th episode, you're going to be like, what? Oh, I don't know these characters.
They weren't nearly as emotionally invested in the story.
God.
I guess this isn't that great of a story if somebody can't just watch it without seeing anything else.
Doug Ross.
Yeah.
Doug Ross and Mark Green.
Yes, you got them
Okay.
confused.
Yeah.
You got
Sorry.
the old doctor mix them up.
Yeah, that's if Anthony Edwards and George Clooney had a son. That's
Right.
Doug Green right there.
Yeah,
Ooh, what a weird-looking kid that'd be.
probably, but a great doctor.
Does George Clooney have kids?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sorry. Does human rights activist Amal Clooney's husband have a kid?
No, I don't
That's
think
the other
he-
thing. People are like, why are they saying this George Clooney got married? Why didn't they say this woman that
Yeah, because he's more famous.
he's more he wasn't that like the human rights lawyer is a better person than George Clooney.
Yeah,
But, like-
nobody's arguing that.
But like as far as name recognition, we arguably should know her name. Not
Right.
arguably, we all should know her name
Yeah,
more than George Clooney. But come on, man, we're all here for the clicks.
yeah. I mean, people respect her a lot more than George Clooney.
Yeah,
He was in well, I do respect him that he was in
Batman and Robin.
no, in The Facts of Life.
Oh, yeah. Facts of Life seemed too skeevy for me as a kid.
He was a little skeevy.
I think it was because that Joe's leather jacket.
Right.
She's tough.
You
I
were
bet she smokes cigarettes.
a real gentle child.
Yeah.
She worked on cars. That was her thing. She was a tomboy.
Yeah. She's like, hey, I wear a leather jacket. I'm a real greaseball.
Yeah. She was very pretty. She was, I think, the prettiest.
Yeah,
on that
me
show.
too. And for the longest time, I was like, oh, I guess I'm into tomboys. And it's just like, no, this was just a traditionally
beautiful woman
that they put in a leather jacket.
Yeah, and then you were like, well, I guess
mean,
I can see right through labels.
Yeah.
And I just like beautiful women.
I'd say if I have a type, it's beautiful women. Okay, now time for the real show to start.
Yeah. All right. Here's your spoiler warning. If you haven't seen Avengers Endgame,
which at this point came out 3 weeks ago.
It came out over a week ago though. So
2 weeks ago.
No.
When this episode is released, Tom.
No. It came out last Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
a week and a half. What?
Everybody's like, first of all, congratulations, Bob Iger, for your great movie.
There are no spoilers yet. You can continue listening. Tim's gonna complain about corporations for a minute.
Yeah, well, everybody's like, yeah, eat shit. Disney made $1.5 billion off of this. Okay, great. Why are you telling me to eat shit?
Who told you to eat shit?
All teens.
Mark Ruffalo?
No, Mark Ruffalo doesn't care. Mark Ruffalo's gonna come out and I don't know, say something mean about Bob Iger, hopefully.
Nah, Mark Ruffalo's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's not looking to ruffalo any feathers.
Right. All right. So everybody's seen this. Everybody who wanted to see
no.
this.
My thing is,
Jesus.
what they're doing is they're breaking box office records.
Oh.
And they're like, oh yeah, movies are getting bigger and bigger. And they're like, yeah, just look at the first weekend compared to the first weekend 20 years ago. But then they start the new weekend. It's like, yeah, this movie opened Tuesday morning. So all the movies between Tuesday morning and Sunday night, that's gonna count.
Yeah.
That's BS. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. It's BS.
I will say that this broke like the weekend record on that Friday or something.
Yeah, sure. Congratulations, Tom. Way to gloat about it.
All right. Well, I'm just
when
saying.
do you get your Avengers check in the mail?
Give us
Are you
credit.
Mark Ruffalo? Oh, did you get a bonus for keeping a secret?
Oh, I wish. I kept the secret. I kept the secret all the way till Saturday because that was the earliest I could get tickets.
How did you see the movie?
In 4DX, Tim, the only way to see a movie and really experience with the moving seats, with the smoke, with the wind, with the rain, with the water that squirts, with the chairs that punch you, lightning. There's like strobe lightning. I don't think they use that much. Smell-o-vision. Sometimes there are smells, but the smells always just smell like shit. They was not literally like shit. They just smell gross.
Let me ask you, and this is a personal question.
Mm-hmm.
I think you spent a lot of money. How much was one ticket to this?
One ticket was $33.
Jesus.
$10 an hour, Tim. It's nothing.
That's 66 points. It's not bad.
What do you mean 66 points? No, it's $33.
Yeah, no, but obviously if you buy...
No, I use my Regal Rewards.
If you use your Marriott Bonvoy
What? Why are you
Boundless
bringing
card?
up Marriott?
If this was a restaurant, though...
It wasn't a restaurant.
now you're thinking 99 points. Now we're getting somewhere.
Who gives a shit?
What do you mean?
Why would I...
That you get 2x points on all purchases and 3 at restaurants and any airlines that you book directly with the airline?
If I do what?
If you book with your Marriott Bonvoy...
I don't have a Marriott's Bond. I don't... Why? No,
a Boundless card.
Who... Fuck them. I don't want one. I don't even care.
Why?
Because I already have enough credit cards.
What do you mean, fuck them?
I don't want their credit card. It doesn't sound like I need it. I have a credit card. It's fine.
Cool. Great. I'm just saying you could have gotten 66 points when you spend an obscene amount of money to see some
Well, I bought
smash 'em up blockbuster.
tickets for my friends too, so I actually spent like $100 on tickets.
See the 200 points you could have had, and then you're fuck them, fuck them
Yeah.
like it's nothing.
What could I get for 200 points? Just out of curiosity.
What do you mean? What can you get for 200?
Yeah, what can I get for 200 points?
Dick. Maybe access to unlock Epic.
Is that? Are you just saying things?
No, Tom. Have you ever even?
Tim, is this an ad? Are you getting a side ad? Why are you saying all these things about this?
No, I'm just saying.
Because we have to disclose if there are
You can unlock
advertisements.
Epic. Your moment is here, Tom. Events anywhere. Do you want to go to concerts at the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Berlin? Yeah. Your
I don't.
points
I
can be used for that.
I don't even have a way.
What
to
about
get there.
a luxury suite at Wrigley Field, home of the Chicago Cubs? 50,000 points is all it takes.
Oh, so I'd have to go see this movie how many times?
You
just
get a
to get
fucking
those?
sign-up bonus. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep things optimistic.
All right. Well, let's get back to Avengers Endgame then. Let's talk about that because that's more interesting than some credit card you're
Yeah,
trying to get.
agreed. I'm just trying to put a spin on the money that you sunk into this thing. You could
It's
get
not sunk,
real.
it's an
you get real
investment.
rewards out of this.
All right. I'm going to give an official spoiler warning now. From
Okay.
now on, we're in Spoilerville. Population you if you don't
Everybody
get run
who
out of town.
cares has seen the movie.
All right. Tim, I'm going to books the podcast style. I'm going to tell you what happens in the movie. I'm going to see how well you can follow along.
Okay. When we left our
Heroes.
heroes,
Thanos,
half of them got snapped away into the ether.
half of the goddamn universe. Half of the living creatures on
Trees too.
trees, bugs, plants, and not just Earth, every planet all over. Half the universe.
Yeah, that would stink, right?
It would.
But at the same time,
Oh, are you one of these Thanos was right guys?
I'm not. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would suck. And look, I wouldn't want any of my loved ones to be snapped away in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Turned into ash.
You know what I would love?
What?
If if he could snap his fingers
Mm-hmm.
and double the amount of space we all had.
Well, that was the argument. It was like, well, why don't you just like double the resources?
Yeah. What did he say to that? Did anybody
No,
ask
I
him
don't.
that?
No, I don't think anybody in the movie told him that.
Oh.
I think by the time he was like facing off against, he was either around like his disciples,
So he got
or he was around the good guys who, by that point, were
He's just trying
kinda
to
like,
clobber him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to listen to reason. So he got all the Infinity Stones.
yeah,
And he put them into a glove.
all 6. He put him into the gauntlet.
Right. He put the glove on.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, what are the Infinity Stones essentially just let him do whatever he wants?
Yeah, they're super powerful. They're like I think it's that they're the remnants of the previous universe
Okay.
distilled
yeah, that makes
down.
sense. Mhm.
There's power, soul, time, reality, space, and mind. Those are the 6 stones.
Wow.
Imagine
Imagine the things that you squeezed out of your brain to remember all those.
well worth it.
Tom, a 38-year-old man who learned to tie his shoes 6 months ago.
You know what? And I've been having trouble with my shoelace again this
God
week. I
damn
think it might have gotten
Uh,
popped back out.
well, last in, first out.
Yeah, I think that's the way my brain works. So, but nobody's ever had all the Infinity Stones. He got them all.
So he could have done anything. It's
Anything.
It's not just a person killing power
Right. It's
or
a,
life
like,
killing power. He could have made everything twice the size.
Yeah, he could have done pretty much anything.
Really big bananas that we could all eat
Yeah.
and enjoy.
I mean, like,
Instead of killing half the population, make bananas huge. We'll all be able to eat like kings.
so like just having the time stone, you can turn back time. Just
Sure.
having the reality stone, you can change reality around you. So it's when you get all these stones, then it's just insane.
Right.
They're all exponential multipliers on each other.
Forgot to tell you, Tom.
Uh-huh.
I saw the last 15 minutes of Doctor Strange in the barbershop.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, he had the time stone.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he had the reality stone.
No,
'cause
he had the
things were
time
bending
stone.
around. Yeah.
So yeah, he snapped everything away, and then he went through a portal and disappeared, and everybody turned to ash, and the movie ended.
Yeah.
We pick up in Avengers Endgame. It's 3 weeks later. Tony Stark and Nebula are
Iron Man and
Nebula.
Nebula. Who's Nebula?
Nebula is
The honest question.
is
and
one of Thanos' two daughters.
the other one is Gamora.
Yeah, hey, look at you.
She's the blue lady.
No, she's the green lady.
Oh,
Nebula's the blue lady.
No, the blue lady from Avatar, who's green in this
yes,
movie.
Zoe
Yes.
Saldana. Yeah.
The lady that they'll never let be her true color on screen.
No, she's got to be blue or green.
Yeah. Man, now more than ever,
mhm.
she is the highest grossing lady
Oh, yeah,
in
she's-
history.
Bankable as hell.
Endgame
Uh-huh.
plus Avatar
Yeah.
plus the last Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's like a $3 billion lady.
Yeah, you could take her to the bank.
Yeah. And they'll be like, well, she's green at this point, so they'll think she's money.
Yeah, exactly. That was maybe that was she insisted in the
I
script.
want to be green like money.
I want to be green like money because that's what I make, baby.
Or maybe she's like, hey,
can I just be?
you're finally putting a woman of color in a leading role in a movie. Maybe don't paint my skin a different color.
Well, you know what? It's Gamora in the comics was green.
Yeah. What about in the Avatar comics?
There are no Avatar comics. I mean, there might be
I'm sure there are
spin-offs
yeah.
now. I doubt there are ones now. There probably were at the time. I
mean, there's 3 more movies coming out,
it's true.
pal. There's a whole animal kingdom about it.
So Nebula and Tony were on Titan, the planet that Thanos came from when the snap happened. So they were stuck there. But
Titan, and that's a moon.
it's not the moon of Saturn. It's
Oh.
a different Titan.
Okay.
So they had the Guardian ship though, so they presumably got on that ship and were like, "All right, let's get out
Is
of
the
here."
rat in there with them?
No, the Rocket. He's a raccoon.
Yeah. Where is he?
Rocket at that point was in Wakanda.
Okay,
When
that's
the
where
snap
the Black
happened.
Panther's from.
Yes,
and
where the
also-
snap happened.
Also, can you have a black guy in this movie and not call him Black something?
Again, though, that's from the comic. He's Black Panther
Well,
because there are different types of
maybe there's
panther.
a problem with the comic.
I doubt it. Comics they've always been good.
Hey, representation for people of color. We're either going to paint you or call you Black something. You cool? This is the only way we're going to let you participate in these blockbusters, by the way.
Tim, I haven't even explained the first fucking scene of this movie. Just shut up for a goddamn minute. So, Gamora, no, not Gamora, Nebula and Tony, they're on the ship, but we learn they've been on the ship for 3 weeks. The ship ran out of fuel. They don't know what the hell they're going to do. Tony's leaving like a sad message for Pepper, his wife. No, not his wife
I know
at this
a dog
point.
named Pepper, Tom.
I know a dog named Pepper too, Tim. It's a different Pepper. It's the same Pepper we know.
It's the Goop Lady.
Yeah, it's the Goop Lady,
Yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah. Did she survive the snap?
Yeah,
Nice.
but we don't know that at this point. But then Tony's like, they use CGI to make him all skinny like.
No.
So he looks like he's not in good shape.
This is BS, man.
What?
Tom Hanks lost a bunch of weight for Castaway.
Yeah.
Now Robert Downey Jr.
CGI.
He knows how to get real skinny,
Yeah.
real quick.
He doesn't want to go down that road again.
All right, just putting it out there.
But then all of a sudden there's a blinding light as Tony closes his eyes to die. And guess who the blinding light is? Captain
God.
Marvel.
Oh,
Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers, who at this point
I
has,
thought it was Brie Larson.
yeah, that's the actress's name.
Oh, okay.
But Carol Danvers, because at this point nobody in the movies has called her Captain Marvel yet.
That's crazy. And she hasn't been around. They didn't really know her, right?
No,
She was stuck in that room for a long time, right?
No, she was in the 90s, but then she went off into space. She's been
Right.
in space this whole time.
Okay.
So she saves them. She brings the ship back to the Avengers headquarters, the Avengers compound upstate in Westchester.
That's where the Avengers compound is?
Yeah, it's in Westchester.
Really?
Yeah.
What town?
Oh, I'm not sure what town. It's right on the Hudson, though, I think.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it is nice.
I'm looking at houses in the Hudson Valley, Tom.
Well, look, take a look at the Avengers compound. I think they have cottages around there.
I don't know if I can afford that. Tony bought that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a lot more money.
He had
than I
like
have.
warehouses up there before, but now he's got the Avengers compound. But, it's accessible from the city, so it's nice.
Yeah, revitalizing probably the community around there too, right?
I think they're pretty
Construction
self-sufficient.
jobs, at least.
I think he might use like robots to build everything. Yeah, I think they're
Not
pretty.
sure I'm on board with this.
I think
now.
the Avengers
and
compound.
Mark Ruffalo signed up on this.
Yeah, I think the Avengers compound's pretty self-contained. I don't think they really, rely on the outside community all that much.
Oh, that's a bummer. I
But
expect to see Mark Ruffalo chaining himself to the
To
to the
the-
gate out front.
so they come there, and there we see Natasha Romanoff. Do you know who that is?
From Russian Doll,
No. It's Scarlett Johansson's
Oh.
character, the Black
the
Widow.
Scarlet Witch.
Black Widow. Bruce Banner, the Hulk.
Can I tell you something about Scarlett Johansson's character in
Sure.
the parts of Infinity War that I saw? She looked like she did not want to be in this movie.
This week's episode is brought to you by Squarespace. You might know them from their beautiful templates created by world-class designers, maybe their powerful e-commerce functionality that lets you sell things online, the ability to customize look and feel, settings, products, and more with just a click. And
We love them.
And everything's optimized for mobile because, look, you got to be on mobile. What are people on? They're on their dang phones all the time. They're looking at websites. They're looking at, who knows what, but you got to be ready for them. And one of the ways you can be ready is with Squarespace. They have analytics that'll help you grow in real time, built-in search engine optimization, SEO for those in the know, free and secure hosting, nothing to patch or upgrade ever. They take care of everything. We have been Squarespace customers since, I don't know, for how long? Since forever.
Since
the
beginning of the thing.
Wow, we said both of those in unison. They're the best. If you need a website, and you do, because look, it's the modern age. You need a website. Look no further than Squarespace, and look no further than squarespace.com/guide for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use the offer code GUIDE to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. And that means even if you buy a year in advance, you'll get 10% off. That's a serious chunk of change, if you ask me.
Agreed. I agree with that. Why were you looking at me like that?
I wasn't. I was looking at the ad copy, but thank you for chiming in there, Tim. Look, the destiny is calling. It says you need a new website. Make it with Squarespace.
All right, Tom, you chastised me off mic for
Yeah, Tim, this is a 3-hour movie. I'm 5 minutes in.
Man, at this rate,
People are going to have to buy tickets to go see the movie.
it's gonna be
They're
an
not-
18-hour recap.
I've said one thing that wasn't in the trailer so far. If we could have
Okay,
stopped on the
Scarlett Johansson's there.
Yeah, Bruce
Hulk is
Banner,
there.
Steve Rogers,
Steve Rogers, Captain America.
yes, Rocket Raccoon,
The Rat.
Thor,
Thor.
the God of Thunder.
Yeah, he was funny. He's comic relief these days.
Yeah.
That was weird. That was kind of a 180, right?
Oh yeah. But it works for him. It's great.
Yeah.
And Rhodey, you know who Rhodey is?
I was gonna make a joke about some guy that turns the amp on the stage and
Do you know who plays
sets
Rhodey?
the drums up.
Don Cheadle. Now, do you know who his superhero identity is?
The Falcon.
War Machine.
War Machine?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of War Machine.
Yeah, War Machine has an Iron Man armor as well.
Oh.
But it's like a like military version, so it's a lot more gun heavy.
They let him have a name like it's not Black War Machine?
No, it's just War Machine.
Well, okay, progress. I don't love the name War Machine, to be honest, but hey, better than what other folk are getting in this.
So Captain Marvel brings Tony and Nebula back, and Tony's like all messed up because Tony had Peter Parker die in his hands.
Yeah,
he was stuck in space for 3 weeks, starving to death.
I saw Homecoming.
Okay. So Tony's basically like, all y'all fuck off. I told you we needed to protect ourselves against this.
Wait, how did he get back from the Nebula?
From Captain Marvel brought them
Oh,
out.
right.
So Tony was just like, no, screw all this. I told you guys this shit would happen, and you told me, like, you're overreacting, so I'm fucking off. Goodbye.
Sounds like a real pessimist.
He's a realist. You know, he tried to warn them that this was going to happen, and that's why he created Ultron, but then Ultron turned on him, and everybody got real mad.
Yeah, in that age.
um,
See, I would prefer an Iron Man that's more welcoming and optimistic.
Well, I mean, that's actually...
Maybe it could be represented by a simple, bold, and modern logo.
What? No, stop.
Have you seen the Bonvoy logo?
I don't care.
It's simple, bold, it's optimism. I'm just saying, Tony Stark, you want to change your attitude, maybe save the world, look to Marriott Bonvoy.
Tony Stark doesn't need to stay at a fucking Marriott, Tim.
He doesn't
stays
need
at
to.
4 Seasons.
Oh, great segue, Tom. 4 Seasons is part of the Bonvoy brand.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. He stays at a nicer place than the Four
The
Seasons.
W?
No, he has like condos all over the place. He doesn't need a goddamn hotel. Nebula tells
Let me tell you
him
about condos.
Nebula tells him where to find Thanos. She's like, oh, I know where Thanos is. And Captain Marvel's like, cool, let's go fucking kill him. And for the most part, everybody else is like, yeah, let's go do that. So they go to where he is. A bunch of them hadn't been to space before, so that's a new experience for them. They go there. Thanos is wearing a T-shirt, of all things. He's just like a farmer now.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea of him just being like, all right, I did the bad thing, but now I'm just gonna.
So they traced him because they traced the energy that went off when he did the snap, and they found the energy on another planet. But then when they get there, he's like, yeah, that energy, that was me. I used my another wish to destroy all the stones. So guess what? The stones are gone. Because they're like, oh, we'll go there. We'll kill Thanos. We'll get the stones. We'll snap. Everybody will come back. And he's like, no, sorry, suckers. Destroyed the stones. Thor is mad, and Thor cuts his head off.
Whose head?
Thanos' head.
So Thanos is dead?
Thanos is dead within the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Is that it?
That's it. They roll credits, and then it's 2 hours 45 minutes of credits.
And everybody's like, "Well, I know there's going to be a post-credits scene."
Yeah, it was a real long con, but they got us. The credits scrolled like imperceivably slow. You thought it was just like a static image, but it was just going so slowly you couldn't even tell.
And everybody's going, "Wait for it."
So he kills him, but it's like, well. Cool, Thor. That did fucking nothing for us. Because,
there's something to be said for the cathartic release of revenge.
Yeah, but half the universe is dead, so it's not really that cathartic.
Well, Tom, imagine for a second that this isn't a storybook where there's no stakes, and you don't know that there's some sort of time thing that can bring everybody back. If you're like, this guy killed half of everybody, at the very least I'm going to chop his head off, and that'll make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, but
that the guy responsible for this is getting some sort of rough justice.
They weren't going there to do that. They were going to get the gauntlet to turn everything back. So
but in a world in a universe where you can't
that's
turn
not
it back,
this universe.
where there's no Deus Ex Machina that where it's
right,
like,
but then also in that universe, somebody couldn't kill half the world with a snap.
exactly. But cutting his head off would be like, okay, like what are they gonna do with him alive? Torture him?
Yeah, torture
That'd
him.
be cool. If
Tell
they
him.
tortured
Yeah,
him.
tell him like.
Imagine if it was just they got him and he was like, "There's no way to bring him back," and there was just like gruesome torture for 2.5 hours.
Putting like bamboo shoots under his nails
Yeah.
and stuff. So the Thor kills him, and they're all just like, "Ah, shit. Well, now what are we gonna do?"
Well, I mean, are they worse off? I think they're better off.
They're the same. Like, not killing Thanos.
The guy
didn't
that
change
killed their
anything.
friends is dead. Don't you know anything about capital punishment? That makes everything better.
Everything's not better. We have a 5-year time jump.
Ooh.
5 years pass, and we see Scott Lang. Do you know who Scott Lang is?
Tom, I saw both Ant-Man movies.
Yeah. So Scott Lang,
He was stuck in the nether region.
the quantum realm. Yeah, he was stuck in the quantum realm because he went in there when the snap happened, and everybody outside that was manning the van that he used to get in the quantum
Michael
realm.
Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
The lady from Lost, Kate.
Yeah, Janet Van Dyne is the character's name. I forget the
I think her name is
actress's.
Kate
From Lost.
from Lost.
Yeah, so they all got snapped away. So Scott was just stuck. The van got impounded. All of a sudden, a rat crawls across the controls.
From the Guardians of the Galaxy?
No, that's a raccoon.
Huh.
There's a rat, but this rat saved the universe because he pressed the right buttons, and Scott comes popping out
Wait.
of the quantum realm.
Hold on.
What?
The way they got him out of the quantum realm.
Yeah,
is
a
that
rat.
happened to just hit the right.
Yeah, 1,000,000 to one shot. 14 million to one shot.
Wow. Did they bring that up at all?
No, but in the movie before, Doctor Strange said he looked at 14 million possible outcomes, and there was only one where they won, and this was it. So it was like, well, that was the one outcome where the rat walked across the controls in the right way. Scott gets out. Scott immediately goes to Westchester, which is, he was in San Francisco, so that's actually quite a ride, which they didn't really mention. But he gets there, and he's like, guys,
Wait, San Francisco to where?
Westchester.
But thought nothing of
In a van
from
that's been...
Titan to Westchester.
Well, but the van's been impounded for 5 years. It's going to need, a little bit of work, I would
maybe
think.
an oil change.
Yeah. So anyway, he gets there, and he's like, guys, I was in the quantum realm. I think the quantum realm... Oh, also, he gets out, and he's like, what the fuck? So when he was in the quantum realm, it felt like a few seconds to him.
Right.
So he gets out, and he doesn't know what the hell's going on. He finds out Janet Van Dyne, his girlfriend's gone. He goes and finds his daughter. His daughter's, instead of being 10, she's 15 now.
5 years older, yeah. Checks out.
But then he goes and finds the Avengers, and he's like, I think I have a solution because, look, time travel. This is time travel, right?
Yeah. What happened to Jerry Rice?
The football player?
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't get into everybody who got snapped.
Because I'd be concerned because you can redeem your Bonvoy points.
What? For Jerry? Tim, who?
Well, I mean, experiences, Marriott experiences. You can hone your football skills in a masterclass with Hall of Fame wide receiver Jerry Rice, or you could cook alongside renowned chef Eric Repair.
Do you think, I'm hesitant to indulge you, but do you think they get paid in those points, or do you think they get cash?
I think they get cash, probably.
They probably have a choice, though.
I could ask my guy.
I bet if he was like, I'd rather get the points, they'd probably be happy. Yeah, well, sure.
Yeah, because, I mean, in addition to accessing locally relevant sites and excursions, such as hiking into glacial Patagonia,
That's not
desert
local
treks
to me.
on camelback in Morocco, or cruising to Vietnam's timeless floating villages, members can indulge in once-in-a-lifetime experiences using their points.
Steve, Natasha, and Scott go to Tony.
Stark.
Tony Stark, because they're like he could figure out this time travel thing.
Right.
We see Tony Stark. Tony Pepper lived. The two of them got married, and now they have a daughter, a 5-year-old daughter,
Wow, what's her name?
Morgan.
Oh, like on was she named after the Morgan on Boy Meets World?
She was named after Pepper's eccentric uncle.
Uncle Morgan.
Yeah. Tony's like, nope. Like, I know everything sucks, but like, I'm happy. You know, like I've got a family now. This is a thing that's been missing from my life. I've given all that up. The snap made me realize I've been doing my life wrong, and now I'm doing it right. Sorry, I can't help, guys. So they go to Bruce Banner. But guess what? Bruce Banner is now Professor Hulk.
Professor Hulk.
Yeah. So the last movie, 2 movies ago when we saw the Hulk, he was permanently the Hulk in Thor Ragnarok. Bruce Banner was nowhere to be seen. Bruce Banner finally came back, but then when he needed the Hulk wouldn't come out.
Yeah, he only came. He turned half into the Hulk, and the Hulk was just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
But now he said he realized instead of fighting the Hulk, he needed to embrace the Hulk. So now Bruce Banner and the Hulk are both active at the same time, basically. So it's like a Hulk that has Mark Ruffalo's personality and wears glasses and like a cardigan.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's like you take the Starwood rewards program, the Marriott rewards program. They come together. Instead of fighting each other, you come together, and instead of Professor Hulk, it's the Marriott Bonvoy rewards program. Right? Is that kind of what Professor Hulk is like?
It's
What you're
just
saying?
what it's like.
Okay, go on.
The Professor Hulk.
Two great programs, and the sum of their parts are greater than each of them.
We're about 45 minutes into the episode, Tim. I'm on Act 1 still.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna have to cut this short.
Yeah,
they turn back time and everything's fine.
The Hulk tries to figure out time travel. He's not experienced at it. He fails. He turns Ant-Man, like time goes through Ant-Man, so Ant-Man just keeps changing ages. It's pretty funny.
Wait, is that a meta joke about Paul Rudd?
No, I kind of thought that might have been, but it's not.
No, it's not like, oh, he's 70, but he looks the same.
No,
oh,
because he
he's
looks
13,
like he was 70.
and he's still the same.
But then Tony figures it out, and he comes up to Westchester, and he's like, I figured it out. I'll come help you. So now they're like, great, we figured out time travel. We've got to go back in time, get the Infinity Stones before Thanos did, and make our own gauntlet. And they're like, time works where when you go back in time, you're not changing your own future. You're creating like another timeline. So it's not, we can just go back and get all the stones and then Thanos won't get them because that's not going to change their future.
Right.
But they're like, we can get all the stones, make our own gauntlet, snap everybody back, and then return the stones. Lickety split, no problem. Bruce Banner and Rocket go to get Thor. Thor is super depressed and fat now and like drunk all the time.
Yeah, how come Fat Thor is allowed to be a meme, but everybody hates the Monica storyline on Friends?
I don't know, Tim. You'll have to ask fucking people that post memes. Natasha goes to recruit Clint Barton. Oh, at the beginning of the movie, I forgot. We see Clint Barton. That's Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. His entire family disappears.
Is he the Falcon?
He's Hawkeye.
Is he related to the Falcon?
No.
The Falcon's a guy, though,
Sam
right?
Wilson's the Falcon.
Sam
Falcon.
Wilson?
Yeah.
Is the actor's name?
No, the actor's name, it's, what's his name? Can't remember his name.
Okay.
No, Hawkeye.
Ken remembers name is his name?
Ken remembers name. Hawkeye's family gets snapped away. Hawkeye turns into Ronin, who's just like a vigilante killing criminals. Because basically he's like, hey, half the universe died, but some of the criminals are still alive. Fuck these criminals. I'm going to go kill them. So he's in Japan, like killing Yakuza. Natasha's like, hey, man, stop killing Yakuza for a minute. Let's try and undo all this. So they all get together. They put on white suits. It looks really cool. The plan is Bruce Banner, Steve Rogers, Scott Lang, and Tony Stark go back to 2012 because in New York 2012, 3 Infinity Stones were in New York at the same time.
Also, Hurricane Sandy.
They had to be careful to avoid Hurricane Sandy. Bruce Banner goes to Sanctum Sanctorum and finds the Ancient One to get the Time Stone. Of course, Steve Rogers fights himself.
You keep looking at me like I should be writing this down.
Steve Rogers goes. They actually have a nice mirror of the elevator fight scene from Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I heard that brought up a lot. I don't remember that scene, but I remember liking that movie, so I bet I like that scene.
Because
Is Gary Shandling in this film?
No, but it's Steve Rogers is in the Shield.
There's not even a picture of him in the background or something somewhere?
Not that I've seen yet. Steve Rogers in Winter Soldier gets into an elevator and slowly realizes, oh, everybody's a secret agent and they're all going to try and kill me or capture me. And as like these bigger and bigger thugs get into the elevator and you see him realizing it, at one point he just goes, before we get started, does anybody want to get off? And it's like, oh,
gross.
Shit.
Is he talking about?
Like he's going to jerk him off?
No.
What?
No, it's talking about violence.
Yeah, he's talking about violence, and he beats the hell out of him. So when when it happens in this movie, you think like, oh shit, the same thing's about to happen, but instead he's like, oh, I'm gonna bring that briefcase, which has the Mind Stone in it, and the guy's like, oh, I don't know about that, and then Steve Rogers gets in close and whispers to him, Hail Hydra. Which is what Gary Shandling did.
I remember.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, shit, Captain America's Hydra? Okay, and they just give it to him. But as he's walking out, he goes like, ah, shit. And there's the 2012 Captain America, who thinks he's Loki and changed himself. They fight. He remarks on his own ass because earlier Tony Stark was like,
this isn't important.
No, it is important because Tony Stark's like, your ass doesn't look so good in that uniform, Steve. And Ant-Man's like, hey, don't listen to him. As far as I'm concerned, that's America's ass. And then once he beats the hell out of himself, he looks at his doppelganger's ass and goes, that is America's ass.
They should stop saying ass so much. This is a children's movie.
Okay. But Tony and Scott Lang fail. Loki escapes with the Tesseract. Robert Redford shows up. This is actually Robert Redford's last film role.
Oh, that's messed up.
He shows up, which is pretty cool.
The Old Man and the Gun was such a nice little bow.
I read a thing with the screenwriters where they were like, yeah, it was really hard for us biting our tongue. We kept seeing all this press about like, wow, his last, and we were like, no, it's not going to be his last.
I mean, it's the last film that he gave a shit about.
I don't know. He did a good job in this movie.
Like, you know what a good job is.
I know what
These movies are your favorite movies. You're like, no, these guys are good actors. The ones that got no context as to who is in the scene with them. They just go in front of a green screen. They get only their lines and like a bunch of fake lines so nobody can leak the... And it's like, oh no, that's the way to get a good performance out of actors.
Hey, it worked. So Loki escapes with that, and they're like, ah, shit, what are we going to do now? We have no idea where he went. So they're like, all right, we'll go further back in time. They only have one return trip, but Tony's like, I know where we can find the Space Stone and more Pym particles to go in the quantum realm. They go back to the 70s, steal an earlier version. Tony runs into his dad. They get a nice moment.
Was his dad played by him?
No, his dad was played by Roger Slattery, who's been playing his dad in most of these things. Okay. We see a young Hank Pym, who is Michael Douglas. Mm-hmm. Rocket and Thor go to Asgard to get the Reality Stone from Jane Foster. Thor gets Mjolnir, his hammer, and he talks to his mom, who's Renee Russo. Renee Russo had more lines in this movie than all the Thor movies combined.
Okay. How many lines did Samuel L. Jackson have in this movie?
I don't know if he had even one.
I heard he didn't have any.
Yeah, we see him at the end, but I don't think he had any lines.
Is he alive in this universe?
He is, but he got dusted.
Okay.
He got snapped, but now, by the end he's alive. But
It's weird
not
that-
everybody knew he was alive. I think he was still kind of in
Right.
hiding.
Okay.
He had, as far as the public knew, he was dead.
Okay. You can go through this very quickly because I'm not listening.
Yeah.
And everybody who's listening to this has seen this movie.
Nebula and Rhodey.
I know we have a limited amount of time.
Nebula
so-
and Rhodey get the Power Stone before.
Did you write all this
before,
down?
Yeah, before Peter Quill can. But then Nebula gets stuck. She can't go back because she gets like intertwined in her network because she's like half robot with her.
Who is this for? Why are you
with her
continuing to say these words?
2014 version, and the 2014 version rats her out to Thanos. So now Thanos has access to all present-day Nebula's memories, and Thanos sees everything that happened. So he knows, like, okay, in 5 years I get all the stones. It works, but now this is what they're doing. Ah, shit, I gotta counter this. Barton and Romanoff go to get the Soul Stone. They both want to kill themselves to get the Soul Stone, but Natasha Romanoff wins out and she kills herself, so she's dead. But Clint gets the Soul Stone. They go back. Tony makes a gauntlet, and they're like, well, Thor's like, I should wear the gauntlet. And they're like, you're fucking drunk, man. We'll have the Hulk wear the gauntlet. Because the gauntlet is like hard to handle.
Right.
The Hulk puts the gauntlet on, snaps, but it like fucks him up. It really it burns up his arm and everything. And then Thanos comes through the portal because the 2014 Nebula has replaced the present day Nebula. She's a sleeper cell. People don't know it. She opens up the time portal. Thanos comes. He blows this property to hell. This nice compound they made in Westchester. They fight. Everybody's fighting. However, the best moment I've ever been in a movie theater happens.
Even better than the 15 minutes of nonstop nonsense you just said.
So it's really just like Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America fighting Thanos.
Right.
But Thanos, even without the stones, is super strong.
Everybody's back alive at this point?
Presumably, but they're not back.
Right.
Like, everybody presumably got snapped back. Not presumably. They
Oh,
did.
because Thor snapped. I mean, the Hulk
snapped.
Yeah.
But everybody, we find out later, got snapped back to where they were
Right.
when the first snap happened. So they're fighting. They have no idea if it worked or not. Thanos is about to kill Thor. He's got Thor's axe pushing into his chest. All of a sudden, Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, hits Thanos, fucking sends him flying. And we're like, huh? How did that happen? Because Thor's right there. The hammer goes back, and we see Captain America is wielding Thor's hammer. Tim, I've never experienced an emotion like this when I saw that happen. And I know you're going to say I'm I should be locked up in jail for saying that, but I've never been so happy in a movie.
To see, then when you saw
Captain America wielding Mjolnir.
Thor's hammer.
Yeah, because here's the thing, Tim. You can only pick up Thor's hammer if you're worthy. And Captain America, there was a scene in Age of Ultron where everybody tried to pick up Thor's hammer. Nobody could. But when Cap tried, it squeaked a little, and Thor gave kind of a nervous look of oh shit, he was almost able to pick it up. But by this movie, Captain America is full on worthy and able to pick it up.
America number one. She can do no wrong.
And not only that, you would think, oh, maybe Thor's jealous.
Now get down to that coup in Venezuela, Cap.
You would think maybe Thor's jealous or something, or
we have some illegal wars to raise.
Or upset. No, Thor is a true friend. You know what Thor says? I knew it.
Well, he just saved
He
his
knew
life
his
too.
friend-
It's like,
Yeah, but it's like I knew my friend was worthy. I knew he could wield Mjolnir. Not only does he wield it, because at first you're like, oh, he can pick it up, but you're like, oh shit, he's been paying attention. He knows how to make it go whoop, 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 and spin, and then out of nowhere, he fucking calls down lightning.
do they
Captain
go back
America.
after all this, back to 2003 and stop the invasion of Iraq?
We
Maybe
don't know
stop
if that
9/11.
happened. 9/11 did happen in the Marvel universe.
Right. I'm gonna regret asking this. How do we know this?
Well, there's no Twin Towers, but I feel like it was mentioned. Like Al Qaeda's mentioned in a movie or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. God damn it.
Like I don't.
No, it's,
There's never a
it's-
moment where somebody's like, "Hey, remember when the Twin Towers fell?" But like, there are enough
I
references.
mean, they destroy New York. They don't go like, not since that fateful day.
Well,
I don't
I
know,
think
they
the
can undo anything. and they're-
no, but they can't because what they undo doesn't change their future. It just creates a new timeline.
Right. So that renders all of this useless. It's just knowing that, like, hey,
Their
that,
timeline's
that
fine.
timeline where I didn't come here and sit through this exists. But, like, who cares for me? For me, the Tim Prime or whatever.
So they're still all fighting, and then
I thought it was over.
no, and then it looks like they're defeated, but then and Thanos has like a whole army coming through the portals now. But then Steve Rogers hears through his walkie, "Hey Cap, you there?" And he's like, "Who? What? Who is that?" And he hears, "On your left," which is an inside joke, and it's Sam.
Very funny.
It's Falcon.
Oh, my favorite guy.
A portal opens up, one of Doctor Strange's portals, and Falcon comes through, and then like Black Panther comes through with like other people from Wakanda, but
It's like, here come all the black guys.
well, no, he comes through with the
Where it's like, we made them all hang out together, and they'll come in at the end.
no, Black Panther comes through with the Koye and Shuri.
It just seems like these filmmakers got a weird thing.
He comes.
Was Don Cheadle with them?
No, Don Cheadle.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Don Cheadle was at the Avengers facility, but he was stuck under rubble with a bunch of other people. Then all these portals start opening up, and holy hell, everybody's here. Everybody comes through. Alf comes through.
Nice.
Sam from Cheers.
Now, Tom.
No, but like all of Doctor Strange's all the heroes first off, but then like all of Doctor Strange's wizards, all these soldiers from Wakanda, all these Asgardians, all the Revengers, like
Revengers?
yeah, that's like another group. They're like a Guardians of the Galaxy group.
Have we met them before?
Yeah, in the Guardians movies. They're all fighting, and then out of nowhere, fucking Captain Marvel comes back. And like as the ship is gonna fire down on everyone, the ship starts firing into the air, and they're like, "What the hell's going on?" They're like, "Oh, something just came through the atmosphere." It's Captain Marvel. She just flies through the ship, like doing like back and forth, like sewing, like when you're sewing through fabric.
Oh, yeah.
Not because she's a woman, just in that way of
Her
going.
power is sewing.
She goes through the top and then
And then she vacuums
up through the bottom and then
Thanos
through the top.
into infinity.
She fights Thanos, and like she could beat Thanos even with the full. Oh, Thanos gets the full infinity.
Did all the
gauntlet.
incels in the audience, you're
Got up
screaming,
and
start,
walked out.
yeah, boo, killer, Thanos.
They're trying to get the Infinity Gauntlet. They're like running a relay to try and get it back into the van to send it back through time so they can return all the stones. But Thanos gets it, and he's gonna snap, but Captain Marvel stops him. But then Thanos takes the Power Stone out in his other hand. He does the whole switcheroo and punches her with that hand.
Oh, man.
Anyway. Then Tony tries to stop him, and you think, oh, he failed. He got the shit kicked out of him. And Thanos goes, "I am inevitable," and snaps.
Who says that?
Thanos.
Okay.
But he snaps, and nothing happens. You just hear clink, and then he turns the glove over.
Do you hear snap?
You hear a clank snap because it's like a metal gauntlet.
Oh, right.
He turns the gauntlet over. All the stones are gone. And he's like, huh? What the hell? We cut to Iron Man. Iron Man's there. He's got all the stones in his regular Iron Man costume, and they're all like moving into place. And then he gets like a crazy surge of energy.
Like Popeye when he's got the spinach.
Yeah. And
Is Popeye there?
Popeye, I think he was. I don't think, like, there's not a close-up of him, but I think he was there. Him and Bluto.
Wow.
It got to that point.
Wow. You know, Bluto, when
the universe is at
Yeah.
stake, they're friends.
Yeah.
And Tony says, I am Iron Man. And then snaps. And then his snap turns Thanos and all his minions into dust. And then Tony dies.
It's too much power for
It was
him.
too much power. He couldn't handle the power. I mean, the Hulk could barely handle it.
Not since Tim the Toolman Taylor called for more power have we seen power this great.
Yeah, and
Take a man down.
It's weird because, like, with all the stones, he probably could have just, like, punched everybody to death.
There's
but
a lot
I guess
of people to punch.
Yeah, or he could have, like, shot lasers or something. But I guess,
Yeah.
he just didn't want to leave anything to chance. He wanted to make sure.
Also, Robert Downey Jr. wanted to not make
Well,
these
yeah,
movies anymore.
you wanted an out.
Yeah.
So he dies. It's real sad.
Mhm.
And then we go to Tony's funeral. We see his funeral. That's where we see Samuel L. Jackson, a bunch of other people. None of the Netflix Marvel people, though.
But the teenager from Iron Man 3 is there.
Yes, he's there. The boy who was now a teenager, which I was glad when I learned that later because I was like, who the hell is that?
There's an Easter egg, Tom.
Yeah.
For the boy fans.
Um,
I'm a fan of that boy.
and
Glad he's back.
so we don't get any after credit sequences, but we get like a bunch of setups of what's going to be going on. So Thor makes Valkyrie the new king of Asgard.
Of course.
And then he joins the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Man.
He's like, I'm going to come
Well,
with
he
you
did
guys.
so well with them on the ship in Infinity War.
Yeah.
He's just as wacky as those boys now.
You know what? I actually wonder if, because when they fired James Gunn, there were a lot of rumors of like, oh, Marvel's trying to get Taika Waititi to do Guardians 3 to direct James Gunn's script for that.
Right.
So when I saw this, I was kind of like, oh, is that their plan where they were like, all right, well, this will make Taika Waititi not feel bad. We'll be like, oh, it's not Guardians 3. It's kind of just another Thor movie.
So they called up a right-wing provocateur. And they're like,
No,
hey.
I'm saying after all that.
Oh, okay.
When they were like, ah, shit, we need to get somebody else to make this movie.
Right.
All right, let's start setting that plan in motion. Because, they filmed this movie 2 years ago. Like, let's set that in motion, and then we'll try and get Taika Waititi to do a Guardians Thor movie. But then Taika Waititi, I think, was like, oh, no, I don't want to get involved in all this. And then they hired James Gunn back. So we'll see what happens.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Time for my boycott.
But then, so the big thing that happens at the end, which made me cry maybe the most, was that...
you cried?
Oh,
Did you
I
cry
cried
during?
a few times during this movie.
Okay.
I cried when he wielded Mjolnir, Tim.
Mhm.
There were tears of joy, but they happened. They're like, okay, we got to get all the stone. And presumably this is happening like during the funeral where they're like, all right, well, while everybody's eating hors d'oeuvres, we got to get all these fucking Infinity Stones back where they belong in time. So the Hulk and Rhodey are like, all right, we'll man the machine. Cap, you go. We put them all in a briefcase. You got your suit on. We've got Mjolnir. You got to go bring Mjolnir back to 2013 Thor or whatever. And they're like, all right, we're going to send you back. And 5 seconds later, we'll bring you back. All right. They send him back. He disappears. And they're like, all right. And coming back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit the button. Nothing. Oh, shit. What's going on? All right.
This movie was over, Tom.
Hit the button again. Nothing. And then they notice that there's an old man sitting on a bench. And Bucky and Sam are like, who's that old man? And then Bucky's like, you better go see. And Sam goes over.
But Bucky was bad.
Bucky's good now. He's brainwashed.
Hmm.
They go back. That's actually how he tricked old Cap.
I don't care. It's fine.
old Cap was gonna strangle him not to death, but I guess to knock out. And our Cap was like, Bucky's alive, and old Cap was like, huh? And that gave him enough of a distraction to sock him one. The old man Captain America, old man Steve Rogers, and he tells him, yeah, I went back, I returned all the stones, and then I went back to the 50s. And I just I took Tony's advice. Seeing Tony die, it made me realize I gotta live my life.
He was just like, hey, life was better in the good old days. All these, everybody having rights.
Well, so in the beginning, not in the beginning, after the 5-year age time jump, we see Cap in a support group, leading a support group of survivors. And Joe Russo, one of the directors, plays the first openly gay character in an MCU movie. And he's talking about, I went on a date and I started crying before the appetizer. He started crying at dessert because, they all have survivor's guilt. So in my mind, I was kind of thinking that during that scene, maybe Cap's been a homophobe this whole time. Like he's still got that 40s mentality.
Right.
So he's sitting there and he's still polite, but in his head, he's like, ugh. It's driving him crazy.
Yeah.
And that's what drove him back to the 40s and 50s. He was like, no, I've seen enough. I've been living in the present for a decade, but then I met a gay man. I was like, all right, that's enough. I'm going back to the 50s. But he went back and he danced with Peggy Carter, which was what he was supposed to do.
Agent Carter?
Agent Carter herself.
Oh.
Because that's what he had promised her, a dance, but then he got frozen in the goddamn ice for 70 years. And by the time she came out, she was too old to dance.
Hip. Her hip was
bad hips. But Cap was there to give Sam Falcon his shield and said, you're the new Captain America.
Wow.
And then we fade to them dancing. And that's when I was crying. And that was Avengers, the Endgame.
Tom?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for explaining that to me. I'm going to see that tomorrow, as you know, so I'll look out for some of the things that you explained.
Keep an eye out for some of those Easter eggs I mentioned.
If you like the show, do the Facebook thing.
Facebook.com/Complete Guide. Check out TCGT.com. You can follow us on Twitter at Complete Guide. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at Your Pal Tim.
If you want to support the show, support our sponsors. Also check out TCGT.com/Amazon for your Amazon shopping, and TCGT.com/pledge or Patreon.com/Complete Guide for our Patreon, where we're starting a new book this week on Books the Podcast.
And then there were none. Is that what it was?
Yeah. By Agatha Christie. We do a show called Books the Podcast on Patreon, and it's great. And we read books, and that's the book we're reading.
Yeah. Sign up at bonvoy.marriott.com.
Tim.
For the Bonvoy Brilliant card. If you do it within the next 28 days, you'll get 65,000 bonus points. Check out the Reddit, too.
r/TCGTE.
Yeah, I feel like the conversation has died down there. And when it's not people being mean to us, it's nice.
Well, I think you criticize people for being mean on there, and then it died down.
Well, just be nice. And also thank you to everybody who's been rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
That really helps. If you haven't done that yet, it sure would be nice if you did that.
I mean, especially if you haven't seen Endgame, I just save you $33.
Yeah, exactly. That's 66 points.
Yeah, this is the 5DX experience as far as I'm concerned. You got the fifth dimension, which is sound.
Ooh.
The one I saw was just subtitled. There was no sound.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you, Tom, for bringing us through that. And
to answer your question, yes, I am gonna go see it again, probably this week.
Are you?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
3 hours.
Oh, it was the best 3 hours of my life.
Was it a lot of my problem with Infinity War is that all those battle scenes just started to seem very alike.
Tim, when Captain America picks up Mjolnir, I felt alive for the first time in my life.
Comprised of a portfolio of extraordinary brands where you can earn and redeem, as well as offering approximately
All right, we'll see you next
120,000
week.
destination tours and adventures on Marriott Bonnet.
That was a HeadGum podcast.